Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Gopinath Bhagwan ki jai. Yeah, sure. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Sarasatim Vyasam Tado Jayam Mudirayed Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Neshtaki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 23, Text 2. Vishrambhenatma suchena Gauravena damena cha Shushushaya sauhadena Vacha madhuraya cha bho Vishrambhenatma shauchena Gauravena damena cha Shushrushaya sauhadena Vacha madhuraya cha bho Vishrambhenatma shauchena Gauravena damena cha Shushushaya sauhadena Vacha madhuraya cha bho. Prabhuji. Vishrambhenatma shauchena Gauravena damena cha Shushushaya sauhardena Vacha madhuraya cha bho. Vishrambhenatma shauchena Gauravena damena cha Shushushaya sauhadena Vacha madhuraya cha bho. Word by word translation. Vishrambhena, with intimacy. Atma shauchena, with purity of mind and body. Gauravena, with great respect. Damena, with control of the senses. Cha, and. Sushrushaya, with service. Sohardena, with love. Vacha, with words. Madhurya, sweet. Cha, and. Bho, O Vidura. Translation and purport by Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. O Vidura, Devahuti served her husband with intimacy and great respect, with control of the senses, with love and with sweet words. Purport. Here two words are very significant. Devahuti served her husband in two ways, Vishrambhena and Gauravena. These are two important processes in serving the husband or the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vishrambhena means with intimacy, and Gauravena means with great reverence. The husband is very intimate friend. Therefore, the wife must render service just like an intimate friend, and at the same time, she must understand that the husband is superior in position, and thus she must offer him all respect. A man's psychology and woman's psychology are different, as constituted by bodily frame. A man always wants to be superior to his wife, and a woman, as bodily constituted, is naturally inferior to her husband. Thus, the natural instinct is that the husband wants to post himself as superior to the wife, and this must be observed. Even if there is some wrong on the part of the husband, the wife must tolerate it, and thus there will be no misunderstanding between husband and wife. Vishrambhena means with intimacy, but it must not be familiarity. That breeds contempt. According to the Vedic civilization, a wife cannot call her husband by name. In the present civilization, the wife calls her husband by name, but in Hindu civilization, she does not. Thus, the inferiority and superiority complexes are recognized. Damena cha. A wife has to learn to control herself even if there is a misunderstanding. Sohardena vacha madhurya means always desiring good for the husband and speaking to him with sweet words. A person becomes agitated by so many material contacts in the outside world. Therefore, in this home life, he must be treated by his wife with sweet words. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shrirupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padana Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishvanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. O Viduta, Devahuti served her husband with intimacy and great respect, with control of the senses, with love and with sweet words. Just a little background about Devahuti. So we've already read this in the previous verses. Just a recap that she was daughter of a great emperor, Swayambhu Manu, who is the governor of all the universes, is controlling all the management of the universes, and wife is Shatrupa, so she is Devahuti's mother. So she is born to great devotees. They are at great position materially, but they are also exalted devotees of the Lord. And she is born as a princess. And she is sister of Uttanapad and Priyavrata. They were also, Priyavrata is actually performing austerity, and he is a great devotee of the Lord. And then she becomes wife of Kardama Muni, and we've learned from the previous verses how Kardama Muni is such a great devotee of the Lord. He actually is son of Brahma. He appears from the shadow of Brahma, and he's born in the mode of goodness. And he performs austerity for 10,000 years, and being pleased with his austerity, Lord himself appears in front of him to give him all the benedictions. So we can understand his position, that he is such a great devotee of the Lord, and he is always absorbed in thinking about Krishna. He is always meditating on Krishna. and he's living in a in a hermitage, in a hut, and it's a very simple way of life. He's not having any opulence or any luxurious homes or anything like that. So we see that Devahuti, when she hears from sage Narada about the noble character, learning, beautiful appearance, youth, and other virtues, she fixes her mind upon Kardama Muni, and she expresses a desire to marry him. And Swayambhu Manu and Shatrupa, being great devotees of the Lord, they were very happy with this because they also thought that Kardama Muni is a great devotee of the Lord and is going to be an ideal husband, an ideal match for their daughter. So they did not consider the material position of Kardama Muni, that he's living in a hut, he's living as a rishi. It's very humble kind of position. They only saw that he's such a great devotee of the Lord. And we see from the previous verse also, we saw that how the comparison is made between Devahuti and Bhavani, wife of Lord Shiva. And she was also daughter of, she was princess, daughter of Himalaya. And coming from such a opulent background, she still expressed the wish to marry Lord Shiva, who doesn't even have a home. He's sometimes living under a tree, or sometimes he's roaming in the Kailash. But she is eternal consort of Lord Shiva, and he's the greatest devotee of the Lord, Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu. So, in those times, the most appealing thing for parents and girls was that the husband should be a great devotee of the Lord. And in the current scenario, it's totally reversed. The parents and the girls, they are always, trying to find how materially opulent the boy is, whether he's earning a lot of money, whether he has a very big house, cars, things like that. So for them, the boy being a devotee is very secondary, or not even in their mind, but in those days, this was the most important thing. So even though Devahuti is a princess, and coming from such a background, she still wants to marry Kardama Muni. On the contrary, we see from the story of Daksha, that Daksha was after material things, and he didn't want Sati to get married to Lord Shiva. So in a previous incarnation, Mata Parvati, she was Sati, and she was born to Daksha, but he didn't want her to marry Lord Shiva. But that happened because she is eternal consort of Lord Shiva. So, but in current modern days, most of the parents are like that, and the girls are also thinking of marrying someone who is very materially, well established. So in the previous verse we saw, and His Holiness Ramaya Swami Maharaj was very nicely explaining that the qualities and intensity of her pure service to her husband was compared to Mother Parvati's service to Lord Shiva. Now girls in those days and even current days, they are advised to worship Lord Shiva. And the advice is given that by worshipping Lord Shiva, you will get a husband like Lord Shiva. And we understand that Lord Shiva is the greatest devotee of the Lord. So the purpose of worshipping Lord Shiva is to get someone who is a great devotee of the Lord. So husband in those days used to go to the Gurukula and would get all the knowledge of the Shastras. And when he gets married to a girl who was not sent to a Gurukula, would get all the knowledge which is now shared by the husband. And in those days, the girls were very intelligent, and they were at a very high level of consciousness, and they understood the value of life. that this is the only means to elevate yourself and achieve perfection and to get rid of the cycle of repeated birth and death. For them, material opulence was not as important. It was only to how to make your best use of this human life to serve the Lord. So marrying a devotee husband would automatically expose them to the spiritual life. And it was said that when they served their husbands with purity and love, the husband would share all the transcendental qualities which he has acquired from his devotional service, and they will get the results of the same devotional service, and they will be elevated to the same platform. So they wished to get a husband who was a great devotee of the Lord. So, as we said, Devahuti, despite coming from such an aristocratic family, she accepted the humble position. And she did not really demand that, after marriage, okay, now, you were a brahmachari previously, now you are a married man, so please, get a house for me. She just went and lived the way he was already living in a hut, and, she accepted all the menial services in the house like cleaning, cooking, washing clothes. So she would have had thousands of maids serving her, and she would have never done any of such menial services, but she took up all these menial services, and she accepted to live in the hermitage and did not demand a proper house. Our question is whether she was happy doing that. Yes, she was very happy doing it, and she was doing it with love and great intimacy, which is explained by Prabhupada in this verse. So she was totally satisfied serving her husband in this way, and she was not complaining. While serving Kardama Muni like this for multiple years, she started losing her weight. She lost her bodily charm. She was very, very beautiful. Like it was said that the ornaments make girls beautiful, but Mother Devahuti, she made look the ornaments beautiful after wearing them. So she was that beautiful. And there is also a story, there was a Gandharva who was flying over the palace, and he saw her playing with a ball, playing a ball game on the roof, and he fell from his Vimana. So this was the description of her beauty and how beautiful she was. And while serving in this way, she started losing that beauty. She completely ignored her body to serve her husband. Her hairs were matted, clothes were not really that clean anymore. So she's serving her husband in a selfless fashion. And why is she serving her husband in this way? To support him spiritually. There was no material motivation behind the service. It was all to help her husband to concentrate, on his devotional service. So she kept serving in this way, and when Kaitama Muni saw her serving in this way, so many years, he became really pleased. And the result of, serving a devotee of the Lord is that he said that I have achieved the blessings of the Lord in discharging my own religious life of austerity, meditation and Krishna consciousness. And you have not yet tasted these achievements, which are free from fear and lamentation. And I shall offer them to you because you are engaged in my service. So he's happily sharing all the transcendental qualities and the results of his austerity with his wife. And he's saying, I am giving you the transcendental vision to see how nice they are. He is a self-realized soul. He has seen the absolute truth. Lord Vishnu himself appeared in front of him, being pleased with his meditation. So if a wife serves her husband in this way, and if the husband is a great devotee of the Lord, she gets the benediction of sharing all the devotional qualities. The serving of the devotee of the Lord is actually higher than serving the Lord himself. And Mother Parvati asked a question to Lord Shiva that what is the greatest worship? And Lord Shiva said the greatest worship is worshipping Lord Vishnu. But then he further adds that even greater than worshipping Lord Vishnu is worshipping devotees of the Lord. And it is confirmed in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela. It said, Aradhanamam, Aradhanamam, Sarvesham Vishnur Aradhanam Param, Tasmat Partaram Devi, Tadyanam Samarchanam. The Lord Shiva told the goddess Durga, my dear Devi, although the Vedas recommend worship of demigods, the worship of Lord Vishnu is topmost. However, above the worship of Lord Vishnu is the rendering of service to Vaishnavas who are related to Lord Vishnu. So it is confirmed that serving devotees of the Lord is even higher than serving the Lord Himself. And we can see Lord when He is answering questions of Uddhava in Canto 11, that He is saying that you perform your devotional service, offer consciousness in me, offering ordinary bodily activities to me, reject all the material desires, give up wealth. But then he is also saying that serve my devotees, perform first class worship of my devotees. So Krishna himself is saying in Bhagavatam when he is answering the questions, he is saying that perform first class service of my devotees. So Devahuti is serving Kardama Muni. There are 4 important points in this verse: with intimacy, with great respect, with control of senses, and with great love. So Prabhupada is saying that we should be serving the Lord in the same manner. And we should also serve our Guru in the same manner. And serving our Guru would be considered even higher than serving the Lord Himself. Lord accepts our service and we are serving through the Guru Parampara. We are not directly serving the Lord. So Lord accepts our service, and He is even more pleased when we are serving the Vaishnavas, especially our spiritual master. And we can see how beautifully and how nicely, these 4 qualities Devahuti Mata is exhibiting while serving Kardama Muni. And we can also see, it was in those times, but we can see all those qualities in our current ISKCON Matajis. They are serving their families so nicely. They are full of compassion. They are so kind. And despite having so many other duties at home, household work, looking after kids, husband, also some of the Matajis are also working outside, but they also take up so many services in the temple. We see so many Matajis always, making garlands here. All glories to them. They are role models, how they are doing all these services. So we should, get inspiration from them, how beautifully they are serving. So we don't have to go that far back, how Devahuti Mata is serving. We can see the example in front of us, how current Matajis are doing service so nicely, so beautifully. Now, very important word is that, she was serving with love, and Prabhupada is saying that we should be serving Krishna with the same intensity. And Krishna himself is saying in Bhagavad Gita, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yome Bhaktaya Prayachati Tad Aham Bhaktya Uphartam Ashnami Prayatmana. Saying, if one offers me leaf, flower, fruit or water, I will accept it, but with love. So he is not asking us, to serve a lot of, difficult. He's not giving us difficult tasks. So easy to serve Krishna. He's pleased with us by only serving Him with flower, fruit, water, and leaf. Leaf is tulsi patra. So He's not expecting a lot, but we have to put love in that service. Even if we don't serve Him with love, Krishna still accepts the service, but He reciprocates according to our level of surrender. Like an example is giving, Krishna doesn't need anything from us. Krishna has everything. He's self-sufficient. He's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's full in opulence. He is not in need of anything from us. But say, for example, a father gives 500 rupees, or say, for example, $50 to his son, and son goes to the market and gets a pen, fountain pen for the father, uh, you know, and he gives it to his father. The father is so happy. Oh, my son has brought, a pen for me from the same money which was given to him by his own father. So he's not gone outside to earn money. He's taken the money from his father. From that money, a small portion he is used to, buy something for his father. Father can buy, Parker pen. He doesn't need anything. But he's so happy when his son or daughter comes back with, small gifts like that. And when we are doing Tarpana in the Ganga, we're saying Om Gangai Nama. We take water from Ganga and then again give it to Ganga. So are we actually, adding anything to Ganga? We are not adding anything. We are taking the water and then giving it back to Ganga. So it's the same way. We are taking it from Krishna. Everything, whatever we are getting is from Krishna. Nothing belongs to us. But what we are doing is we are just rendering service to Krishna. And He's giving us that opportunity to serve Him. But He's saying just add love to that service. Now, we can see some examples. Even I like some examples from Ramayana, like how, Shabari, she served Lord Rama with so much of love. And she was a tribal lady and had unflinching devotion for Lord Rama. And she took shelter of a great sage called Matanga Rishi as her spiritual master. And during the last days of his spiritual master, she served him with great intimacy, love and respect. And being pleased with her service, Matanga Rishi said, one day Lord Rama will come with his brother Lakshmana to meet you. So, and then he left his body. But Shabari kept, doing her spiritual duties every day. And she was a poor lady, a tribal lady, so she was collecting berries every day, thinking, oh, Lord Ram might come today. But many years passed. It was Treta Yuga, and she was still waiting. She became old. And when Sita Maiya was taken by Ravana, so Lord was searching Sita Maiya. He came across some few people, and they suggested speak to Shabari. She might be knowing something which would be of help. So then he comes to meet Shabari, and then Shabari was like, she never lost faith in the words of her guru. And she kept doing her devotional service and every day collecting berries, thinking that Lord Ram might come today. So she never was disappointed when so many years had passed and she had become old. She had this unflinching faith in the words of her guru, that one day Lord Ram will come, and that happened. So when Lord Ram came, she said, oh, there were so many exalted yogis waiting for your darshan, and you have come to this unworthy devotee. She's taken such a humble position, and she, does the Shastang Pranam to Lord Rama and Lakshmana and offers them seat very nicely. And then she says, I'm a poor lady. I do not have anything to serve you other than my heart. And then she brings these berries. She had been collecting every day. Every day she would go and collect berries. And to make sure that they are sweet, she tastes them first. So she serves Lord Ram these half-eaten berries. And Lord Ram accepts them, because it is served with pure love. I mean, Lakshmana raises his concern that, this is, this has already been tasted and these are unworthy of eating. But what Lord Ram says, I have tasted many types of food, but nothing equals these berry fruits offered with such devotion. You taste them, then alone with whomsoever offers a fruit, leaf, flower or some water with love, I partake it with great joy. And he says, the sweetest part of the fruit is the place where it has been touched by the saliva. So this is, how Lord would accept, service. Of course, we are not, and this is against the rules of, Archana or deity worship. But in the Shabari's case, she is such a pure devotee of the Lord. Lord even accepted these half-eaten fruits, and not just accepted, He was relishing them because there was so much of love and purity in that service. So we can see from the past time that, Lord is so pleased when, even if it is such a small thing like a fruit, is served with such pure love to the Lord. And then we also see the pastime of Kevat, the boatman. So Lord Rama wanted to cross the river, and he approaches the boatman, and boatman, like, when he sees Lord Rama, he's such a great devotee of Lord Rama, and he's been like, he's out of the world, like, wow, Lord Rama has come. And he wants to take that opportunity to serve Lord Ram, because he had so much of love in his heart. And so he says, like, Lord, give me, an opportunity to wash your feet before you step into the boat. And the other person who had introduced Guha is the person who introduces the boatman to Lord Ram. He says, why you want to wash the feet? And then after a lot of hesitation, he says, oh, I have heard that, when the dust of your lotus feet touched stone, it became a woman, Ahilya. So my boat is made of so many different woods. And if the dust of your lotus feet falls on my boat, and it might convert into many women, and I'm a poor man, I cannot afford to look after so many people in my house. So please allow me to wash your feet. So very intelligent, he wants to do the Pada Seva. And this is how he's, and Lord, seeing that pure love in his heart, he gives him the opportunity, okay, wash my feet. So he washes Lord's feet. And then, now again, he wants to touch Lord's feet. So he's still, okay, Lord, if you, after washing your feet, if you, step on the ground, earth again, then the dust will come again on your, in your lotus feet, and, I don't want that to happen. So he puts his hands on the earth, and he requests Lord to step on his hand before stepping into the boat. So by touching Lord's feet, he gets rid of all his sins in one go. Such an intelligent person, but such a pure devotion. And Lord is so pleased with his service. So when he takes him across the river, Lord, being pleased with his service, he wants to reward him. And he says, okay, I'll give you my golden ring. And he says, no, Lord, I don't want your ring. He says, पार किया मैंने प्रभु तुमको, अब तू मोहे पार उतार. So he's saying that I have helped you to cross this river, but now you help me to cross this ocean of nations. So what a beautiful pastime, how much love and devotion is there. So he's not asking for any material benediction from Lord. Lord Ram could have given him anything, but he asked, you help me to get rid of this material cycle of birth and death. You help me cross this Bhavsagar. So we see such beautiful pastimes, and Hanumanji, again another great devotee of the Lord. So always, serving in the mood, as a dasya. He wants to please the Lord, wants to make Lord happy. So once he saw Mother Sita putting sindoor on her forehead, and he asked, Mother Sita, why you do that? So Mother Sita said, oh, this makes Lord Ram happy. Oh, he says, oh, this makes Lord Ram happy. And he smears all his body with the sindoor. And he said, how happy Lord will be, to see, my whole body is smeared with sindoor. So you can see the love and devotion, Lord is carrying two diaries. It's another story that one diary has names of all the devotees who are constantly remembering Lord Rama. And the other diary has names of the devotees who Lord is always remembering. So Hanumanji's name is in that diary when Lord is always remembering his devotee. So we can see such beautiful pastimes, and also from Krishna Leela. Once Krishna was happily playing in his home, and then he heard a distance fruit seller. She was trying to sell fruits, and she was saying, he heard her voice that, oh, there are juicy fruits, And he had seen his parents, exchange these things with some other paraphernalia like grains, So he looks around and he couldn't find anyone. So he says, oh, I've seen my parents do that. So he runs towards a bag of grains and puts both his hands into the bag and tries to collect some grain in his little hands. And even, when he was walking towards the fruit seller, half of the grain, slips out of his hands. So when the fruit seller sees, was filled with love with the child's innocence, like she sees, oh wow, and she's totally mesmerized with Gopal's beauty. And she's like, these grains, they are so precious. Even being a poor woman, she, fills the hand of Krishna with fruits, as many as he can hold in his two arms. And she takes those grains in exchange. And Lord exchanges, how, when she goes home and when she puts her basket down, she's still thinking about Gopal, his beautiful appearance. And she sees that all those grains have been converted into, extremely precious jewels. So we see from that pastime, how Lord is reciprocating the service done to him with love. So all she gave was some fruits, but Lord, he gave her, converted all those small grains which were in her basket into, big jewels, very precious jewels. So Lord, out of his causeless mercy, he appears as the Archa Vigraha, because we don't have the transcendental vision to see the Lord in his transcendental Satchidananda Vigraha form. We cannot see him. So all we can see is these material things, stone and wood. I mean, it's mentioned in Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Tad yatha balishnam swayam atmana shreya parama vidusham. So Lord appears as, so he's got nothing to do with these material things, stone and wood, but he has no interest in such things. But in order to receive the loving service from us, he agrees to act the way he does. So he comes in the form of Archa Vigraha to just accept the service from us. Otherwise, we cannot even see Lord's transcendental form with these material senses. So Lord gives us opportunity to serve him. Even in homes we have the deities, so we are serving the Lord with pure love. At least we are trying to. And Krishna is reciprocating according to the level of our surrender. And we read in the Mangalacharan as well, Nashta prayeshu bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavata uttama shloki bhaktir bhavati nashtaki. So by regularly hearing the Bhagavatam and rendering the service to the pure devotees, all the troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed. So we can see how important it is to serve the devotees of the Lord with love, great respect, and control of senses, which is how Mother Devahuti is doing currently. So Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, Tad vidhi pratipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattva darshana. So just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. The self-realized souls can impart knowledge unto you because they have seen the truth. Krishna himself is giving us the direction to serve our spiritual master. He said, serving, when he's answering Uddhava's questions, he's saying, serving pure devotees, for serve them, offer them first-class service. And we see, how Lord Shiva is saying that, serving devotees of the Lord is even higher than serving Lord Vishnu. So we can see from all these examples the way Mother Devahuti is serving her husband because he is such a great devotee of the Lord. Similarly, if we serve our spiritual masters, other Vaishnavas in that same fashion, then they would also share their transcendent qualities with us. The Guru can take us back to Krishna if we serve him in that fashion. So what is the result when you get that, benediction? You start seeing Krishna everywhere. For one who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me, I am never lost, nor is he ever lost to me. So Krishna is again saying that, a devotee, then he comes to that level where he starts seeing me in everything. I mean, we are still seeing material things, but there's a perception of Krishna in everything. Like Prahlad Maharaj, he was seeing Krishna everywhere. And when Hiranyakashipu asked him whether he's in this pillar, he says, yes, in this pillar, and he smashes the pillar and Lord appears. So So the devotee starts seeing Lord everywhere. Yo mam paschati sarvatra sarvam ya mai paschati tasyaham na paschami sachay me na pranashyati. So the devotee starts seeing Lord everywhere, and it's in again Brahma Samhita it says Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochana Sanata Santa Sadeva Hridayeshu Vilayokyanti Yam Shama Sundaram Achintaya Guna Swarupam Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. I worship the primeval Lord Govinda, who is always seen by the devotee, whose eyes are anointed with pulp of love. He is seen in his eternal form of Shama Sundara, situated within the heart of the devotee. So he is constantly seeing Krishna. And that is the result, how Kaidama Muni was constantly meditating on Lord Vishnu. He had achieved the perfection. He had seen the absolute truth. And Devahuti serving him in this manner, she also achieved perfection because Kaitama Muni shared all the transcendental qualities, and we will see this in the coming verses. And the result was the greatest of all, that she is daughter of such great devotees, she is sister of such great devotees, and she gets married to such a great devotee. But the greatest is that Lord, in his plenary expansion as Kapil Dev himself appears as her son. So you can see her exalted position, So we should learn from this verse that, how Mother Devahuti was serving her husband, who is a pure devotee of the Lord. In the same fashion, we should be serving our spiritual master and Krishna and other devotees, and we should be able to achieve the same result of, achieving perfection. Okay, so we'll stop here. Any questions or comments? No? You're making it easy for me. Okay, yeah, no worries. Okay, thank you. Hare Krishna. Srimad Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Gurudev ki jai. Radha Gopinath Bhagwan ki jai.